Okay, time now is 10:41 a.m. in the morning on May 27th. Yeah. So it's May 27th, I think. Yeah. So I slept from 5:15 to 9:30 and then I went back to sleep. Um and that turned into a whole hour, 10:35. So yeah, that's about 5 hours of sleep. Um, Last night was pretty fucked. I planned to watch a movie plus an episode of a TV plus edit college update video. Didn't do any of that. I don't know why, but time was moving really fast last night and I was not productive at all. And I spent at around 2 a.m. I decided to start working on um the the assignments that I was assigned to do for the freaking employment, which is so silly actually. Like, I don't recall having to do any of that for any other employments. Like, I'm not even hired yet. I haven't been hired yet, and you're telling me to make a couple of YouTube like shorts? Like, come on. So I did it pretty fast, pretty low effort, and it took me a while to figure out what I want to do. It's honestly like, I don't know, I feel like this is another college assignment. It was kind of discouraging. But I finally finished it at around like 4:30, which is insane. And then I took a shower and I went to bed. Thank God I did fall asleep. I I went to bed at like 5:15, but I don't think I really fell asleep until like 5:40 ish. But I did fall asleep. I did actually sleep, which is amazing. Um, so that's great. But yeah, I woke up at 9:30 by the alarm, and then I thought I'll just sleep a little more because I'm tired as fuck. And that turned into a whole hour. So fuck. I plan to film an album review and have breakfast before the Zoom meeting, but I guess I can't do that now. The Zoom meeting starts in like, I have a Zoom meeting at 11, so I have like, so I'm gonna stay at home the whole day, but I have shit to do. At 11 a.m., I have a Zoom meeting with this employer person. And then at 2:30 p.m., I have a Zoom meeting with Thomas, and I think Liam and Shane will be in it as well. We're gonna be talking about script writing, shit like that. And then at around 4 or 5 p.m., I'm gonna have a phone call with Avihai to talk about studying USC. Um, so yeah, I don't fucking know. One good thing, it's actually bad, but one good thing on the bright side is that given how little I've slept yesterday and today, um, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get tired pretty early tonight. So hopefully this means I'm gonna go to bed at like 4, 4 a.m. at the latest tonight. Okay. Um, yeah. Let's go to bed as early as I can, and yeah. This job is kind of weird. I hope it does pull through, but even if it does, I feel like I'm just not gonna enjoy it too much. I do want to get the museum tour guide job though, that's for sure. But yeah, still looking for roommates. I DM'd a few people. I like really exhaust my possibilities. I DM Rohan and this guy, Justin. So there are so many Justins. The Hong Konger. by the name of Justin, the second Hong Konger by the name of Justin that I've met in USC. We talked a little bit about like theaters, and then I was like, oh yeah, random question, but do you know where to find roommates and like where to find housing? And he's like, well, I don't really know either, but I found my roommates through Snapchat. And I'm like, what? Snapchat? And he's like, yeah, there's a USC group in Snapchat. So I downloaded Snapchat, and then today I'll try to figure that shit out. So, yeah. Also, maybe it's time for me to pick a non-triple link place. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. No, I did mention this. Yeah, triple link is weird. So yeah. We'll see. We'll see. And I also got another comment on my Reddit post saying that Gateway allows roommate matching. Interesting. I thought Gateway is like college housing and they kick you out every summer. Maybe it's a good place though. Who knows? Okay, time now is 1:03 p.m. So it's a no-show. I texted the employer, I called her. She didn't respond at all. So this is both bad and good news. Bad news is I don't think I'm getting the job. I think she's ghosting me because she finds I'm weird or something. Or maybe she's just forgetful. But the good news is, I don't have to take this silly job, I guess. And I can film my review now. I have a little extra time to do that now. Also, yeah, it's stupid. I feel like I woke up for nothing. But the good thing is, now I'm sleepy as fuck, and I can sleep even earlier tonight. Again, 4 a.m. That is the latest I will sleep. No melatonin challenge. Yeah. Goddamn. It's crazy. It's been 2 hours since 11 a.m. It's crazy how fast time moves on. I did nothing. I ate a bowl of cereal. That's it. But yeah.
Sense for the character to go back to school on episode 1 or something.
Yeah. Okay, so he just got out of he just got out of the military and he has an offer. All right, cool. Any other things we want to add for Michael Martin?
Okay. He's fifth cousins with a former president.
Okay.
That'll keep in the classic Michael Martin lore.
Yeah.
Oakley dokley, time now is 8:53 p.m. Yeah, so NIHT, nothing important happened today. That's right, folks, nothing all that important happened today. Stayed at home all day actually, which is a bit of a rarity. But yeah. I don't know why. Even though I only slept for 5 hours today, it felt good to be able to sleep again. That's a strange statement because I believe I had a full night's sleep on Saturday as well. Look at that fly. Look at that fucking fly. Fuck off. Fuck off. Okay. I don't know where it's at now. Yeah, so many flies. Okay, yes. So today I was supposed to have 3 calls. One is a Zoom meeting with the employer at this company, and that didn't fucking pull through because I low-key hoped that the employer dislikes me and decided to just completely ignore me. The idea of me suddenly having a job again, especially a job that I don't necessarily like, just adds more stress to the whole mix. I'm already kind of stressed out in general by life, you know. But no, apparently she left her phone somewhere, so she, I guess, couldn't do the Zoom with me, which is weird because I thought she would use her computer or laptop to Zoom. Anyways, we're rescheduling the Zoom. In fact, she specifically requested, in lieu of doing a Zoom call, let's meet up in person, which fucking sucks because I don't want to go outside unless it's a film set or watching a film. At 2:30 p.m. I had a Discord call with Thomas and Liam. This is the quote-unquote Script Writing Club 2.0, where we just do a writer's room thing and talk about ideas. Honestly, it's a little bit, there's a fly again. It's a little bit awkward because I don't know how much Liam and Thomas talk to each other. I talk to Thomas at least 100 times more so than I talk to Liam. I and Liam have, like, talked to each other a little bit in Ends and Means, but I feel like after Ends and Means, I haven't seen him or, like, spoken to him or even heard his voice for such a long time. Actually, he did call me briefly in September, but that was very brief because of the letterbox incident. So it's a little awkward. And also, I think Thomas just really misses being Script Writing Club president to the point where he has to pretend that he still is. So I can't help but feel like that's the case. So Thomas doesn't have any TV show ideas, so we're pitching TV show ideas. Liam, and of course Liam's only idea, and the only idea he's ever going to come up with, is his experience in Ends and Means, because it's disastrous. I get it, it's disastrous for me too, but come on, really? So I pitched an idea, and it's basically a remake of the Jumper movie from 2008, which is an idea that I've been having for many years already. And I pitched it, and they both really liked it, and they both went with mine. I was like, oh, well, maybe we can come up with something new on the spot. And they're like, nah, I think yours was pretty good. I'm pretty enjoying it. And at the end, I let Thomas and Liam develop my idea, develop my characters, while I sort of just sit back a little bit. I honestly don't really care because, it's the kind of story idea that I don't really see myself professionally making. Even if I'm making it, it's gonna be more of a feature film or maybe a limited series and less so a whole show, because I only have so many years in my life and I need to make more feature films than shows. If I do professionally make it, I'll probably just do it on my own, and it's fine. So I let them have it at around 4 p.m. It's done. Third call I was supposed to have was with Avichai, the Israeli guy, who randomly DM'd me saying, oh, I'm sorry, something came up and I can't call. Maybe let's reschedule the call. And I'm like, sure. So at the end of the day, today is like just nothing. I thought it's going to be filled with calls. Turns out it's not filled with calls. So I decided to take the opportunity to be as productive as possible, military style, military schedule, little military. I filmed and edited a review. I just finished editing my college update video. I'm cooking rice right now, and I watched half a film already. After dinner, I'm going to finish the second half of Human Lanterns. I'm going to watch 3 Idiots. I'm going to practice drawing. I'm going to finally work on that funding thing, the refund thing, which is still bugging me. I still have like $1,000 that I'm supposed to receive a whole fucking year ago. So I gotta work on that, while at the same time work on housing, which is the new issue. After the Reddit post and the several DMs I made last night, it gave me a little hope. It's gonna be difficult. Finding a new place to live in is gonna be difficult, but it's not impossible. So there's this company called Gateway, and I thought Gateway is just one of the names of USC Housing, because USC Housing has all of these fancy names: Lorenzo, Tuscany, Gateway. Turns out Gateway is just not. I don't really know. So, on Reddit, somebody said Gateway allows roommate matching, so I may give it a try. But the thing is, if Gateway doesn't have in-unit washer and dryer, and worse yet, if it's, not private bathroom, it's not cutting it. The reason why tripling is so attractive is because it provides those two things. So, yeah. I don't know. I need to do more research. But I have about a whole month to do it. And also, I think it's more likely that I'll move after Seattle, which is going to be scary because it's a very short period of time. Between my return to LA and the Anime Expo, I have about a little more than a week. That's June 25th to July 4th. But I think I'll have to move at that period. Also the Snapchat group chat thing. Also Justin, the Singaporean guy, not the Hong Konger, not the Malaysian, the Singaporean guy, talked to me a little more about films, and he's like, oh, do you have any films you look forward to watching in the Aero Theater? Because I'm trying to expand my taste. And I'm like, okay, I'll check. But honestly, the Aero Theater is like leagues away from me. It's like miles away from me right now. So I obviously can't just go there on a whim, unlike I used to. I can go to the Newark on a whim, and I've been to Newark a few times, but Aero is just far. But yeah, that's basically it. This thing is healing, I hope, but I have like a new sore on my tongue. This side, it's hurting, but it's fine. I'm used to pain and suffering. It's all good. And yeah, that pretty much concludes today. I don't know. What do I feel? How do I feel? What do I feel? I feel okay. Not really. From 1 to 100, how do I feel right now? I'd say like 50, around 50. I don't feel great. Like, there's definitely an air of sadness. I think a few days ago, I felt great. I was at like 90 when I was going onto these film sets, because I felt like I'm being involved in something great. And then prior to that, I felt 20 or even 10 or 30 because of the whole I'm losing my apartment thing. And then prior to that, I felt maybe 40 because school just ended. So my emotional levels are really just going up and down like a roller coaster. It's kind of scary. It's like I'm having mood swings, but small mood swings. Mood waves, mood cycles. I don't know. I just think that it's almost like I'm all alone. Like, I don't know, I keep DMing Glenn, and I'm gonna DM him again later. I hope he doesn't mind. I need to keep asking him when is he free to play badminton. And I'm not only doing it for myself, I'm doing it for Rachel as well, because Rachel needs connections. And then, it's actually pretty interesting that I'm talking about Glenn in the capacity that we're schoolmates, and not like he's the actor and I'm the scripty, or he's the actor and I'm the director. Like, anyways, I'll keep DMing people for help. And I think that's really the plan. I think moving in 2 days is possible. It'll be 2 separate days and with 2 different people, I assume. I think it's possible, but it'll be like 2 12-hour days, basically. It's gonna be 2 very intense days, but I think it'll be worth it. Yeah, and I'm not buying a vacuum cleaner, and I'm not buying too many more Blu-rays. until after I've moved. So, yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. It's actually interesting. Again, like, I feel like because I've been writing Violent Femme, especially because I'm hitting the more, like, important parts of Violent Femme, I've been thinking about romance a little bit. And, I don't know, I feel like the more I live right now, as of now, I realize that I shouldn't feel anxious about the fact that I don't have a girlfriend, or the fact that I'm not in love with anyone. Because instead of thinking, oh, it's the society's problem, because society hates me, which is a little delusional, or it's my problem because I suck and I'm useless and I'm a loser, which is also a bad thought. Now my new theory is that I am born this way. Now let's not talk about having a girlfriend or not, because in my view, in my understanding as a 20-year-old guy who's never had one, this is my understanding. First, you like someone. That's step one. You need to have feelings for someone first. Doesn't matter if it's like a little feeling or a large feeling, a little feeling. Romantic, not just friendly feeling. Number two, you get close to that person, you ask that person out. But only after you get close to that person and that person knows you well enough. You wouldn't do that to strangers. Number three, you ask that person out more. You two develop a stronger bond. And when both people are comfortable with each other, I guess then we can take it from there. So it's a little bit similar to what happened between me and Leslie, except also extremely different. And that is, I had a lot of feelings for Leslie. And I don't know how much she had for me. Probably zero, because she's not a human being. But we built, and it reaches a climax where I confess to her, and then we take it from here, except confession is a bad idea, and also Leslie is just the wrong person to do that to, because she's fucking insane. So that's how I understand romance right now, in a practical way. Now the thing is, I can't even reach step one, not because I'm useless, but because I don't even develop romantic feelings to anyone I've met. Like, I realize that I've met a considerable amount of women in the last 6 months at USC. Let's be honest here. I've met a lot of women, and I've socialized with them really well. Everyone from Rachel, the Hong Konger, who's probably the closest one to me, to Stephanie, the other Hong Konger girl. I saw Pepper again, but that doesn't count. Natalie from LMU, who I only saw for one day anyways. There's this Singaporean girl from art history class. There is Katie, the Korean American girl, who I've spoken to like twice, but you know, it's not that bad. I socialize with people. Audrey North, again. But the thing is, I have no feelings for any of them. And yes, you can say that I just don't know them well enough. It's only been one semester. But also, it's like, I really have no feelings. So it's not really my issue or the society's issue. There's nothing wrong. It's my personality that I don't develop feelings easily for people. And it's not a problem. It's just my nature. I do develop feelings for people twice so far. In the 21 years of my life, I've developed a feeling twice. One with Mary and one with Leslie. But only twice. A lot of people develop feelings like 8 times, 9 times. within 21 years. So here's a realization, right? I'm not as romantically capable as a normal human being. So I wouldn't say I'm like a romantic asexual. I'd probably say I am romantic and sexual, but just not as much as a normal person. A little less. I'm a little less active in both of those departments. So I guess demi-romantic, demisexual, if that's a thing. So I've been thinking this for like a couple weeks already, and as a joke, like, even if I am demi-romantic and demisexual, I'm not gonna go out there and preach and say, "Hi guys, I identify as the blah blah blah." I'm gonna keep it to myself. As long as I know this fact, as long as people know this, it's fine. I'm not gonna make labels and preach and whatever. It's a fact, it's true, I believe in that, but I'm not gonna like make labels and make a huge fuss out of it. Unless I'm coming out as trans, then that's a pretty fucking huge deal, but I'm not. But yesterday I had another thought, and that further confirms this demi quality that I have. Trans people experience gender dysmorphia because, for instance, Leia, she identifies as a girl. She's younger than me, I'm going to call her a girl. She identifies as a girl, but she was forced to act like a boy. And society expects her to be a boy. And that causes a lot of stress and anxiety to her. In a way, that anxiety is a similar anxiety to what I feel. And I'm sure a lot of people feel this way. And of course, it's like apples and oranges, but it is anxiety nonetheless, and that is the society expects me to date a lot and like a lot of people and lose my virginity. But I'm not that kind of person. So the society expects me to do one thing, but my personality suggests another thing. This is also an anxiety born from my romantic ability. It's a very common one, actually, because there are so many losers out there who is dying to get a girl. But the thing is, in my case, it's like I don't even feel like getting one. But yet, at the same time, I am told by the media and just the world in general that dating is nice. It's a nice feeling. And it is nice, I do agree, but like, also not, like, I think being with someone eliminates loneliness. And if that's my ultimate goal, then I'm sure there are many other ways for me to eliminate loneliness. And liking someone and being liked feels really nice, but I don't really have an urge to do that, actually, so I don't know, it's just, instead of like, ooh, Enoch finally found a girl in 2024, it should be like, well, Enoch has come to the realization that he doesn't even need one, because that's not even his personality type. And I'm just gonna leave it there. That's my current thoughts. Maybe my thoughts will change tomorrow, but this is my theory now. I'm hungry as fuck. My rice cooker just beeped. I'm gonna have a dinner. Au revoir. It's 10:45. Finished dinner, and then I spent like 40 minutes walking around my room as per usual. Yeah, speaking of military schedule, I just want to add a little addendum. One is, I think for the first time, for a very long time, or I think for the first time ever, my brother asked me for help on one of his assignments on WhatsApp, and it's a biology assignment, and it's about genealogy and dominant recessive alleles, and surprisingly, I know how to solve the problem, even though it's been a long while since I've come in contact with something like that. I think it's been like 2 years. Because last time I dealt with that was Biology 3 back in my community college. So, yeah, that's one thing. Next thing is, I made the Reddit post asking for roommates. A couple people responded with, offering their places. Now, of course, I approach with caution, but I'm gonna DM them on the off chance that they're actually, like, somebody I'm looking for. But that's good news. I just need to keep looking. What's the other thing I was gonna talk about? There's one more thing. I forgot. Tomorrow call time is 9:30, not 9, which is great. That means I can wake up at 8:30, not 8. Which means that if I go to bed at 4, I'm gonna have 4.5 hours of sleep, which is not the end of the world. That's it. And I'm gonna begin to DM more people. I think I'm gonna DM Chunhua to see if he's available in the summer. I'm gonna maybe DM Natalie from LMU, not Natalie from Hong Kong. I mean, Natalie from LMU is also from Hong Kong. Natalie, the girl I've always known in my life, the Singaporean girl who is from the world of Hong Kong, is not in Hong Kong right now. I think she's on the vacation in somewhere in Thailand with his new boyfriend and a couple other friends, people that I completely do not know. She just has a completely new normal life at this point, 100% changed. But also I don't care anymore. Yeah, I think that's it. What the fuck is happening? Shit. Fuck. Where'd it go? Oh my god. Oh! Oh, fuck off. Okay, I got one, but this is not the cockroach I'm trying to kill. There's a huge one who just climbed across here. I don't know where it is right now. It's probably in hiding. Fuck. I need to get out of this apartment. There you go, freaky fuck. Freaky fuck boy. Okay, it's out. Shit! Go the other way, you fool! Okay. It's like 4 a.m. in the morning, but screw it. I'm just gonna do a little perspective practice because I've been meaning to draw for like 2 weeks now. May 27th, right. Whew, how do I do this? Okay, imagine a prism. Right. Oh, the pencil. It's not shade. Okay, hold on. Oh, okay. I know. This feels wrong. I don't know why, but this...
Okay, I guess that kind of worked out. Nah. Okay, that's something. Okay, maybe this side is easier because this side is longer. So I'm going to do this. Huh? What the fuck am I doing? I'm even more confused now. This does not look right at all. I'm sorry. This is 2 vanishing points. I know I should start with 1. What am I doing?
Okay. Time now is 8:48 a.m. in the morning on May 28th. Fuck me. Fuck me. I slept from about 5:10. I went to bed at like 4:55. So I technically did break the 5 a.m. curse. But at around 5:10 I woke up and turned on the AC. And I slept till 8:40. Yeah. So yeah, that is less than 4 hours. In fact, that's around 3 hours and 40 minutes. So fuck. 4 hours is my limit. Anything lower than that, I'm basically kind of fucked. So yeah, I'm basically kind of fucked. I planned to sleep at 4, but that didn't happen. But yesterday was quite productive in my opinion. I did quite a few things. I watched 1 1/3 of a film. I didn't watch 2 movies because 3 Idiots is 3 hours long. I drew a little bit right before bed. I handled the refund issue a little bit. I did some more research on like USC off-campus housing, which makes me realize, why haven't I done this in Hong Kong? Like, I don't know, in Hong Kong I was really sure that I was gonna move into a triple link, so I didn't really research other housings, but there's like an ocean of other options like Gateway and Lorenzo and Tuscany. Apparently all these housings are like off campus. I don't know. And then I edited a college update video. I filmed a review. I did a lot of stuff yesterday, so not bad. But the price to pay was that I slept late. So yeah, again, like I always say, hopefully tonight I sleep earlier. Fuck. Again, one good thing about waking up very early is that tonight I'm probably gonna sleep earlier out of pure tiredness. So I'm gonna do that, actually. And yeah, today I'm going to Locke again. It's the 4th day I'm going to Locke. It's also apparently the 6th day of principal photography. Crazy to think that they've been filming for 5 whole days already in that soundstage. 5 whole days. But today a bunch of people won't even show up. Like Equo is not showing up. Rocky isn't showing up as well. Like a bunch of people I know are just not showing up, I think. I don't even know that many people, so I don't know. Hopefully I get to socialize more today. I really don't want to wake up early tomorrow. Really don't. I still have acne on my nose. It's like drying up, but yeah, it's embarrassing. Yeah. Glenn says he's free on Wednesdays, so I guess I'll be seeing him next Wednesday. Not this one, not tomorrow, but the next one, which is a long time later. Yeah. Yeah, the apartment thing is not impossible. I don't know the steps, but I'm gonna find a suitable place first. I'm gonna find a suitable place. A place where I can live for years. And it's actually very difficult because I go to Reddit and everyone hates all the buildings. Like, all of the off-campus housing have something bad to offer. Tripling is the worst. I think everyone knows that. But like, I don't know, Gateway people are complaining about the shitty Wi-Fi and being forced to relocate, which is terrible. I wouldn't live in a place where I'm forced to relocate. And I don't have to do that with this tripling room. And then, I don't know, some other houses have other, like, disadvantages, like noisy. There's a University Manor and it's full of cockroaches, which is a no-go for me. Like, there's so many people complaining about every building that it's like you can't even trust anyone. There isn't a single good building after all. And it's better if I find, instead of apartment complexes. And another thing is, like, apartment complexes, it's community laundry for sure. Unlike TripleLink, I want to find an apartment. It's probably gonna cost a little bit, but like, just a house, just like a big house, somewhere. Not too far, but just on a street somewhere. And have an in-unit washer and dryer. It's gonna take a bit of hunting, but the moment I find that, that's jackpot. I'm living there. That's it. I'm done. I'm not moving.
I think it works, but it's a little bit too much. Okay. Yeah, let's just see it. Let's go。我们写个新中国。
像横向更大一点，横向更大一点。Okay, let's switch. Put it longer side.
太近了，所以总是被冲掉，总是会被冲垮。咱们那句话怎么说来着？涨潮的时候但是涨潮的时候总是被吃掉。但是没关系，我还可以再堆。他先说没关系吧？但是没关系，我还可以再堆。但是没关系。
And now it's even, but let's spread it out.
堆城堡。
没关系，我可以再盖一层。但是没有关系。Look at this. Look at this. We have all the sand in the world.
我们可能要站得更近一点，看看。对，要站在他们这儿来，可能还要再近一点，然后可以站在这个木墙上。水好高啊！真的是有点高啊。就是看不到他脸。
Well.
我们要不要给奥利维亚脚底下看看？可以直接我在。
This is the BTS.
Bring this lady in.
MLS?
Yes, I want.
And who is swinging the ball inside?
Who's swinging the ball?
Thank you, camera.
全都得看。嗯。狂喷。
Alright, let's move on. Okay, wipe your nose quick.
11:30 is okay. 8 a.m. is not okay.
Yeah, I think so. Thank God. I always bring my passport with me.
Sam, every time I show my passport, people say like, why do you bring your passport?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah. 후레.
this is
for
foreign song. 中国. Can someone close the door?
I'll go back.
Okay. Time now is 2:03 a.m. in the morning. I just came back home about maybe an hour and 10 minutes ago or so. I have rested a little bit and I would like to talk about yeah, I would just like to talk about stuff. I would like to talk about things about what happened today. Oh god, I'm so tired, by the way. If you can't tell, I am extremely tired. Jesus Christ. But anyways, today might as well be the most, I wouldn't, yeah, probably round 4, the most intriguing day thus far, which is great fucking news. And I'm not gonna say it's like the most intriguing thing that had happened to me in LA. Far from it. But I'd say in my run of USC, in my experience in USC, today has been the most rewarding. Like, today is what I've been looking for. This is what I paid. All this tuition, all this money, this is what I paid for. So, again, a while ago, and by a while I mean just yesterday, I was struggling a little bit, thinking about how I would like to make more friends and make more connections at USC, thinking about how, thinking about moving, thinking about life in general, and, this morning I was thinking to myself, well, I hope that today when I go onto set, I would move a little closer to the people, at least in the art department, and socialize a little more, because that's what I'm on set for, is for the connections and the experience. And the experience I'm getting, but if I don't gain any connections, any deep, real connections, I don't mean romantic relationships, I mean friendships, right? If I don't gain any actual friendships, and I'm not just talking about, haha, what's your major, what's your Instagram, bye. I'm talking about like actually experiencing something together. If I don't have that, then it's gonna feel very dumb because I'm wasting so much time and energy and effort working on this set for free. I gotta gain something valuable in return, like a good ass friendship. So I thought, okay, I hopefully I get a little closer to those people, and then I go home, I cook myself dinner, and I'll watch some movies, and then I'll go to bed early, and yippee-ki-yay. Oh my god, today went ahead and beyond, further. It's actually surprising. So I experienced the entire package today. By that I mean front to back,
the moment after I wake up, I ate a steamed cheesecake from H Mart, and then I took the bus, and boom, I arrived at the soundstage. I was right on time. The soundstage wasn't even freaking opened. Like, I saw the director outside, Monica, and she and another producer opened the door to the soundstage. We go in, we start the day. Like, I witnessed the opening of the soundstage, and I was there until at the very end when everyone's leaving the soundstage. All the way, and it keeps going, and the night continues. Which I totally didn't expect. But I went through the full package. I didn't leave. I didn't randomly come back home to go to the bathroom. I didn't leave halfway. None of that. So full package today. I looked at the call sheet, and tons of people I saw on day one seemed to not be coming back, including Ikuo, who's the second AD, the person whom I was the closest with, is gone. Rocky isn't on the call sheet either, but of course he showed up anyways, but I didn't really speak to him at all today. So I was left pretty much alone, and for a little bit in the beginning, I literally had nothing to do. So I was hanging around in the soundstage, I was hanging around in the outside area, in the crafty area, just hanging around and not doing much. I helped reset the table. There's the moldy pieces of orange, which is disgusting. But that's pretty much the thing I did. And then for the first 2 to 3 hours or so of the day, they were filming reshoots or pickups from the previous couple of days. So we basically didn't have to do the big thing yet. So, yeah. Also, on day one of the shoot, quality crafty, really good. But today is actually day 6, and you can see that the crafty is getting worse and worse, and they're getting smaller and smaller. So next shooting day, which is going to be a couple of days later, I'm actually going to bring a little bit of crafty on my own, bring snacks, because I know for a fact that they're actually running out of crafty. So thank God I got some snacks here. Just perfecto. So I think things started to get more entertaining for me when I met another art PA / set dresser, an Indonesian girl, a woman, because she's 1 year older than me, by the name of Cha. That's her name. And she's the kind of person who you would be able to befriend very fast, because she just keeps talking to you. She's like, "Oh, where are you from? Hong Kong. Oh, so you speak Cantonese?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, teach me a Cantonese swear word. Oh, so blah 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 blah. Oh, so I joined this set and I was here yesterday and blah 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 blah." He just talks, and I'm talking to her, and she's nice, and it was, and she keeps, every time I run, I run into her or I get closer, she's like, "Enoch," and I'm like, "Cha." And then the other guy, the art director, Frank, she's like, "Frank," and Frank is like, "Cha." It's we keep doing this, so we're building a genuinely, a nice working relationship. The thing is that, when I was scripty for Anywhere the Wind Blows, I was actually able to socialize with, I think, a good chunk of the people on set, but it's a bunch of random people, the makeup artist, Jeremy, the BTS photographer, Jing Chen, Ikuo, second AD. I was able to socialize with them a lot, and the producers as well, and and it's kind of random, and the sound mixer a little bit, in the second AC, because I have to speak to them, right, on the scripty. So I was scared that being art PA means I can't socialize with anyone, but no, obviously when you're art PA, or in this case I'm credited as set dresser, which is great. Sounds better than art PA. This time around, I was able to socialize with everyone in the art team. And then, Diana, who I thought was Latina, please forgive me. Huge mistake. Rookie mistake. She's Persian. She's here, but she had a huge migraine and she left halfway. Another Indonesian woman showed up. She's in master's program. So a lot of these people, they're MFA. But to my absolute surprise, or no, I think the Cha, she's not MFA. I think she's undergrad, but film production. The other Indonesian woman, whose name is Hanisa, she's MFA. Frank, because the thing is, like, I spoke with Frank Moore, and she revealed that he's actually not an MFA, and not film production. He graduated from undergrad cams. Holy shit. Literally me. So, he's sort of living my dream right now. I wanted to be involved with tons of projects, being PD/art director, or at least like something like prop master or whatever. Even though I'm undergrad cams, and usually PDs are MFA production. He's living my dream right now, so he's literally the person I must follow the footsteps to. So I'm glad I met him. I'm really glad. But yeah, me, Yao, Frank, the Indonesian girl, and then a Korean woman who I met on one of the construction days. Her name is Rina. Showed up. I've seen her before. And we form a little group. 5-people group. The Asian group. I mean, there's the Indonesian girl, the other one, but she became like an associate producer. Sort of, yeah, it's weird. Like, small producer role. Like an assistant producer, basically. And then Diana, she's not as involved today. But us 5, we became like a team. We keep hanging out. We helped. So the big thing starts happening. And the big thing is red paint. That's why I wore a red shirt today. So we had this giant bucket of paint. And we started painting the walls. Drawing weird symbols and stuff. And it was actually fucking fun. This is what I signed up for. This is awesome. Like, I loved it. I get to draw all sorts of weird shit. Like hide secret characters, weird symbols. Draw different shapes and eyes. I was a little scared that I'm going a little too much overboard, but seeing other people also go overboard made me think, okay, I think I'm fine. So we ended up completely filling every side of the wall. Wall by wall, we filled every side with stuff, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's great. And I try to avoid getting messy, but it's inevitable. I had one glove on my right hand. My left hand is fucked. At some point I tried to draw like at a very high position and the red paint dropped onto my head. So that's that. But it's fun, so that's one thing. The other moment was when me and some other people try to wait for Frank and Rina, the Korean woman, to get sand from Home Depot. They got 2 giant bags of sand, and they're heavy as fuck. They're like 20 pounds, I believe, and I and Rina, both of us, grabbed one end of each of the bag, and we moved, and I walk like this because I don't want to break my back, because if I do this, my back is gonna hurt. So I try to like have my back straight and bend my knees, but now I look like a penguin. That was tiring. My arms are sore, kind of, because of that. And then we had to play with sand a little bit. And again, I slept for less than 4 hours, so obviously doing all the heavy lifting and all the squatting and all the reaching, it's exhausting. And there are dizzying moments, trust me. But we used the sand and we poured it over a tarp on the floor for them to film, I guess, the final scene of the short film where the entire apartment is fucked. There's sand on the floor, there's red paint, insane, disorganized red paint all over the walls on every single flat surface. They have basically gone insane, and the ending is kind of ambiguous and experimental, and they see a bright white light, and then they go towards the light, and then, you know, kind of situation. So we nailed it, and it's crazy. Like, I looked at the set, and I was like, wow, what a fucked up place. And then I realized that I'm part of this. Like, I painted those walls. I helped place the sand there. I did this. We did this. So it was awesome. But yeah, we hung out a lot. We became a lot closer. We chatted a lot. We had lunch together. We went to the fountain. It's weird. Like, whenever I go to school, right, say CTPR 448, the World Building class, every Tuesday morning, I go to SCA, pass through the Mary Pickford lobby, enter the other side of SCA, walk straight to my right as SCB. That's how I remember. But whenever I'm on a film set within SCA feels like a different place. It feels like a maze or like a European village. The center of it is the soundstage, and then there's a giant road, and then you turn to weird ways, and then you somehow reach the fountain. And I'm beside SCB, but it's not the SCB that I know of. Like, when we sit on the fountain and we just ate food. And this is also, may I remind you, the same place when me and Equo and Rachel and the Burmese girl, we went there, and it's super crowded. Also the same place at the same time. It's actually, like, insane how much a place, the feeling of a place changes depending on what you're doing in that place. Anyways, I digress. We had lunch together, ate a lot of food, filled up a lot of food, ate a lot. Even though I didn't eat a lot of crafty, but right off the bat in the morning, Yao bought us all Starbucks coffee. And then before lunch, Frank bought all of us matcha. So I had 2 drinks, 2 caffeinated drinks. And I tried to get like small matcha, but like still a lot. So I'm already filled up. I'm ready to go home and make myself dinner and call it a day. There have been moments where I tried to like speak to other people, like Lanty, who speaks Cantonese. But she left the moment I wanted to speak to her. But I hope I can speak to her more a couple days later. Rocky, he's busy all the time. Didn't have a chance. But in contrast, me and the art team really tight. Real tight. And we talked. I even had a moment to talk to Frank about like housing and campus housing. Talked to him about Cam's classes. Yeah. So, pretty nice. And, yeah. For the most part, like, I think 70% of the time, I'm probably not even on set. I'm either on set and I'm looking at my phone, just chilling somewhere, sitting down, or I'm outside also sitting down, or walking around, or looking at my phone. It's so chill. Sometimes it's really tiring, sometimes it's really chill. Which is a totally different pacing. As a scripty, it's like somewhat chill, somewhat tiring throughout the entire day. If you're camera, it's super tiring, super intense, whole way through, nonstop. But being in art is like suddenly intense, suddenly chill. And I like that rhythm. I think it really works out for me. Anyways, the only person on the set who seems a little bit of a drama queen is Lisa, who is first AD, who I remember is a scripty in Neither Donkey Nor Horse. And she seems stressed out, but she gives me Sitlali vibes because she would order people to do things. She's the first AD and she has nothing to do with art, but she would be like, oh, drop some red paint on that. And then more on that later, but yeah. So the whole day is over. I felt good that I got to be close to all of those people. I even like because Cha keeps asking me about Cantonese, and also the fact that I wrote Chinese words with red paint, that got to a very interesting moment where something I've been almost envisioning ever since I got into USC, and that is me being Chinese while not being Chinese in front of Chinese people. And today I got to do that. Like, I don't speak their language, Mandarin, fluently anyways, but we know so much, and we have so much in common culturally. I know so much of what they're saying. And we write the same script, sorta. So today I got to exhibit that. Anyways, after the whole thing ended, 9 p.m.-ish, we decided to have dinner together. So I'm like, well, screw it, sure. So we went out, and we had dinner together. We went to K-Town, and went to a place called Hanam by Chef Kong. And I've been to that place like 2 years ago, once, I believe, with the church group, with the church folk. But it's interesting, because this time around, one of us is actually Korean. So me, Frank, Yao, Cha, and Rena, the Korean. We all went in there and we had a good ass dinner. And once again, I didn't get to pay anything. Yao and Frank paid. As far as I know, if they give us a receipt and ask us to pay, I'll fucking pay. Because both of them have bought us like Starbucks and matcha and, you know. Also, throughout the day, I brought a hand cream because like I had a pimple on my nose, which is a terrible spot to have a pimple. And it's terrible. Every time I speak to people, I feel very conscious of it. Especially if it dries, it looks like there's a dot. So I keep applying hand cream on it. I think I did it like at least 9 times a day, so that it would look wet, or not wet, but like it wouldn't look obvious. So right now it's okay. Right now it's like dry, but it's like not obvious anymore. I'm sure it'll heal by the end of like tomorrow, hopefully. But even so, people are nice. People didn't like look at me weird. And also I look like shit because I'm tired, you know. But anyways, we had dinner, and that's when more interesting things are discussed, because as expected, there are grievances. Yao and Frank really didn't like Lisa, and apparently Lisa did so much more. Lisa was being mean. There was also a moment when like Lisa kept pushing Cha and told Cha to call Frank multiple times and ask him, when is the sand coming from Home Depot? And Lisa kept complaining, oh, well, 30 minutes ago he said 20 minutes, and then right now he said 20 minutes again. Well, it doesn't make sense. Yes, it doesn't make sense, but also traffic is his thing. Like, give it a little patience. And we wrapped right on time, like, just, you know. And then when the sand came, he was like, clear a path, like, we know what we're doing, you know. Apparently there are many moments where Lisa would say something to the PDs, Yao and Frank, and they asked Monica, the director, and Monica's like, oh, just listen to the first AD, my orders. And that's a little bit sad because, you know, Yao and Frank clearly are experienced PDs who've done a lot of experienced work. But yeah, so we had Korean food. It was chon, so it's kind of like tempura, and then the other thing is like this beef, baby octopus, bean sprouts thing with rice, and then I had Sprite, so the third drink of the day. That is not water. I almost had my 4th drink of the day. Oh yeah, makgeolli and soju. But it's in the same meal, so I consider it the same drink. But yeah. And then Cha and Rena started to joke around, saying, oh, we're going to karaoke together. And me and Yao thought it was a joke. And we're like, yeah, sure. And after we left the restaurant, they were like, yeah, let's go to the karaoke. Rena's like, oh yeah, I know a place, I know a spot. And then that's when both of us realized that they're actually serious. Obviously, nobody ever fucking does that, especially given that we haven't even rapped. It's crazy. Imagine doing that on Ends and Means, you know. But sure, so this is like a pre-wrap party. We haven't even wrapped, and we're having dinner together. It's crazy. Like, it never happened in Film 33. There's like a real sense of like teamness. Teamwork. There's a real sense of teamwork. So we went to this karaoke spot, which is like a couple minutes away by driving, very close. We went in there and we sang music for an hour, and I was already like dead. I was so tired, but I still sang 2 songs. And it's the usual Cruel Angel's Thesis and God Knows. That's the 2 songs I'm comfortable with. And even so, there's no Romanji on the screen, so I was like slurring my Japanese. Rina is even better at Japanese than me, obviously. And she was like, oh, like 80% of all the grandmas in Korea speak Japanese. And Yao and Cha know Korean more than me, obviously. I barely know any Korean. I know some terms and phrases, that's it. But it's really interesting. Mix of Chinese, Hong Kong, Indonesian, and Korean cultures sort of mixed together. The Asian gang, the Asian gang that I'm familiar with at my community college with Malaysians and Japanese now returns in a different form. Now with Chinese and Korean. USC fashion. So yeah, it was nice. I wanted to go home, but also, when will be the next opportunity something like this would happen? So part of me wants to go home and sleep. Part of me thinks, you know what, just enjoy it. So I enjoyed it. And then what's the craziest is that even after karaoke, none of us wanted to leave. So we stood at the parking lot for like a whole freaking hour, just chatting and reflecting. It was funny jokes at first, but suddenly we started to shift gears and talk about drama. That's when things get exponentially interesting. So on day 1 of the set construction, I was there. That was May 17th. And Yao casually mentioned, Yao was like, oh, I'll tell you guys later. But Yao was like, well, might as well say it now. So on day 1 of the shoot, I met Oli, who is a Korean white half woman with super short hair. Obviously very liberal. And there's this 39-year-old white dude who's really into Chinese culture. I thought a little sketchy, but sure, looking forward to working with them again. They never came back. A little weird, right? Well, Yao finally explained what the fuck happened to them. Apparently, there's been some drama. So, before I showed up to set that day, I believe a little bit before, both Oli and David were already kind of close, like friendly to each other. But I don't know if it's before I entered the picture or after, but at some point they were in a car and Yao was there and they started talking about Israel and Palestine. As it turns out, David's Jewish. I wouldn't be able to tell because I thought he's French, but I guess French people can be Jewish too? Like French American. Anyways, turns out he served in the Israeli army. Weird. And obviously Oli is pro-Palestine. So that was already awkward. But there was another moment, earlier or later, where David asked Oli some really weird, intimate questions. So after that incident, Yao decided to not bring both of them back on set. I low-key wish Yao would bring Oli back, because Oli, from what I hear, seems like is the victim. But anyways, David is problematic, because day 1 of the shoot, principal photography, day 1. I was there too, but for some reason I didn't see any of this. David showed up out of nowhere. He didn't enter the soundstage, but he spoke with the producers, and he was like, "Oh, what? Why am I banned from this set? What did I do wrong? And he decided to file a Title IX report. And apparently Title IX, I don't know exactly what it is. It's sexual assault or verbal assault or like something like that. But it's a serious deal. But David's report didn't go through because Yao and Frank already reported David first. And they brought up David to the production office and the professors. But they didn't mention David's name. They mentioned, oh, there's one guy who is weird. Weird veteran. And the moment Yao and Frank say this to the professors were like, oh, is it David? So David is notorious, apparently, according to Yao. And it's weird that Yao would know all these things anyways. It's weird that the professors would confirm that it's David and sort of, in a way, gossip with the students to begin with. Anyways, one of the professors asked their TA to not let David join their class because David's too problematic. So obviously David's a weird guy. And again, come to think of it, right, David's really into Chinese culture in a weirdly obsessive way that can be seen as racist. David on the set, construction, kept bowing to Yao. And Yao was like, oh, we don't do that. And David's like, oh no, I've seen videos. I'm sure Chinese people do that. But literally, he's the only white dude in the entire crew that day. We don't bow, obviously. Bro is stuck in the Ming Dynasty or something. Another moment, actually, was, I believe it's still day one of the construction, after I left, and after Yao brought up the problematic shit to David, David kept staying. Yao was like, oh, you can go home, but David stayed. And David lied, saying that, oh, the producers asked me to stay because I'm potentially going to be a grip and I need to meet the DP. But the producers never said that. So, crazy dude never returns. But that opened up a whole can of worms, and Yao and Frank proceeded to talk about some of the craziest drama in the Chinese side of USC Film School. And may I remind you, the Chinese side, like there's probably a whole universe worth of more of all these drama, and we have no idea about it. So, I don't know the names. Even if I do, I don't know who they are. There have been several names being circled around today, and I have genuinely zero clue who any of these people are. But they were like, oh yeah, so I'm not gonna go into details because it's secret, but you know, there was a sexual assault and there was a verbal assault incident. There, it's Title IX is what it's called. They got expelled. There was a film production student, undergrad, who took meth and cocaine, and me and the Indonesian woman Cha and the Korean woman Rina were just hearing, and we're like, what? And then after a while, Rina started talking about, because she's an AFI, she started talking about AFI drama, and apparently Yao also have some connections with AFI, so they started riffing off of AFI drama. Like, oh, apparently sexual assault is also a thing in AFI, and apparently AFI doesn't even care. Like, at least USC has strict laws about it. But AFI does care about injuries. At that point in the parking lot, it was really cold, and I really wanted to pee. And I wanted to just go home and pee, but I'm like, you know what, fuck it. My bladder, my kidneys are hurting. I need to go. So I went back into the karaoke place and peed. Anyways, came back out, they were still talking about drama. We kept on and on and on and on, and at some point I and Frank talked about, out of all the people I know, I've only really met people from Anywhere the Wind Blows. And I talked about how, John L., nice dude. And, Equo, nice guy. And Frank was like, oh, really? Because I've heard some things. And I'm like, what? what could it possibly be? Because like the MFA shoot for Anywhere the Wind Blows by John L. genuinely the best set I've been on. Like I've had so much fun on that set. You have no idea. Even though it was tiring as fuck, but you know, it was worth it. And Frank was like, "Oh yeah, so one of the sound mixers, her name is Xiaobang. Apparently Jamie was complaining about her, and you know what? I guess I understand why, because Xiaobang is really energetic, and that may tick some people off. She's like a ball of hyper energy. And then apparently Frank also has some issues with the Taiwanese producer Dalton, not Allegro, because Dalton was on another film set with a Taiwanese director, and he was a sole producer. Frank had a head injury and he was bleeding. He asked the producer and the director if they could help him. They ignored him. Frank went to the hospital to check up. He was fine, but still, there was an injury. The director showed up to the hospital, took a photo as a proof that Frank is fine, and then left, so that they would cover up the injury and play it off as if it was nothing. So yeah, well, at least my boy Allegro is good, and I told Frank, like, John L is a good director. Like, you know, there's been a lot of negativity in the drama, but let me just praise a couple people. It's crazy how innocent I am, because like I just got off of, not just like a year ago, I got off of Ends and Means, knowing all the dirtiest, darkest secrets of most of the people, and seeing the worst of a lot of people I've met. Now at USC, clean slate. As it turns out, one of the sexual assault victims also showed up to set today. Obviously, Frank didn't tell us who, out of obvious reasons, out of protecting secrets, which I respect. Yao was like, "Oh, come on, please tell us. Why do you keep hiding from us? Are you hiding something?" As a joke, of course. And Frank is like, "I can't tell you guys." But yeah. And honestly, I don't care. I mean, I do care, but it doesn't matter if I know who it is or not. If I know who it is, okay. If I don't know, that's fine. If that's what the person wishes. So, it's what else. But apparently there are like tons. I asked Yao and Frank, like, do you have like a list of directors who like I should avoid? And they're like, they just started naming off people, like 6, 7, 8 people. This person, that person, this person, Isabel, Justin Bede, fucking like Ting Ting, like some like all these people. And I'm just like, yeah, I have no idea who any of them are, by the way. And somebody at Cha was like, "Oh, do you know any good directors?" And then they named a couple. They're like, "Oh yeah, you know, this Luke, this guy, like he's really nice, blah blah." Also, they're all committed to art, and I was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, my ultimate goal is writing and directing." And they're like, "Oh, you want to be director? You're not one of us," because I guess directors always interfere with PD, and they're always not on good terms. But I think that's all the more important why I want to be in PD. I want to know what it's like being in PD, like Robert Eggers. So Monica and Yao, they were friends before the shoot, but after day one, Yao didn't like Monica anymore. And apparently earlier today, again, I wasn't here for some reason, and Cha witnessed it. Monica was apologizing to Yao, which is great, except Monica was apologizing about scheduling issues and not about the lack of creative control that the PD has. But anyways, still better than Ends and Means. On Ends and Means, everybody was crying, getting food poisoning. I told both Yao and Frank about Ends and Means a little bit, and they were like, "Wow, that seems terrible." I told them I did BTS work, and they were like, "Yeah." But yeah, that's basically it. I had fun today overall. Really tiring, but pretty good. And if somebody like Frank can exist, I wish I can achieve the same footsteps and also be a well-established art director / PD and just go on up and up. In some ways, I still have some red paint on my thumbnail, like literal thumbnail. In some ways, what Cliff is doing with his DP gaff grip thing is like what Frank is doing with his PD art directing thing. Obviously, two people with very different styles, personalities, roles, but they're both going up and up. And, you know, Frank is already finding paid jobs outside. He's undergrad cams. He's on OPT. He's got work. Bravo. Bra fucking vo. You know? I'm glad I met the guy. I really am. So, yeah, that's today. So, dinner today, pushed to tomorrow. But yeah. I'm glad I'll be seeing them again a couple days later. And I'm glad Ikuo's coming back. I and Arwen also talked a little bit. Arwen, I thought she's like master's degree, like film production. Turns out she's undergrad. Turns out she's sophomore. Turns out she's a philosophy major. So let me get this. Undergrad, sophomore. I am junior. And may I remind you, I already skipped one whole year because of my community college, and I skipped half a semester already because I'm a spring admit. So that means Arwen is probably 2 years younger than me. Turns out she is. She's born in 2004. Holy shit. What a youngster. Because I was speaking to Cha and Frank and Yao and a bunch, and they were like, wow, Enoch, you're young. You're only 21. Like, we're all 22, 23, 24, respectively. Cha, Frank, Yao, 21, 22, 23. No, 22, 23, 24. I'm 21. Turns out Arwen's 20 or like 19. Like, oh my god. So, wish her luck. Hopefully we keep I see her more on other projects, you know. You never know. But yeah, they really disliked Lisa. But they praise Ikuo. Ikuo is a nice guy. Apparently Ikuo messed up some shots on day one of the shoot as second AD. But also not really his fault because Ikuo was never included in the production meetings because his inclusion in the short is like a last minute thing. But Ikuo's coming back up a couple days later. Okay, so that's the short film today. Still looking for housing, still looking for actors, still working on my experimental script. Talking to Zara about it. Got some more good news. More people responded to my Reddit post. Also, I'm so fucking tired. I'm not going anywhere tomorrow. I'm sleeping all day. I don't care about the employer. I don't fucking care. I'm sleeping all day. I'll meet the employer on Friday if I have to. Maybe that's a bad idea. I don't know. Or maybe I can just visit the employer tomorrow afternoon. Either way, I'm finishing 3 Idiots right now. Immediately go to bed. Yippee-ki-yay. That's today. But yeah, today was awesome. I'm glad I met Yao and Frank. Again, some of these stories I feel like are like, okay, I'm only hearing from Yao and Frank's side of things. But I do have to admit Yao and Frank are nice people. I'm also glad that like after speaking to people like Yao and Frank, and even like Elin and Cliff and Ken, I feel like I'm nice and I'm easy to work with. Because I'm soft and I'm a pretty, you know, I'm like, yes, I'll do it, you know, kind of person. I need to sit. My legs are rotting. This makes me feel like I'm in the right side of history all the time. Like, Elin and Ken dish on Benny. I'm glad I'm not Benny, you know. Benny's successful, got money, fucked Ariel, but I'm still glad I'm not him, because even though I'm not like a perfect director, and there have been panicky moments when I directed my short film, but Yelin was still able to like talk to me and be nice with me even afterwards. Like, it's not like my image was destroyed or anything. And that's important, because
talent, artistic talent, is just as important as being nice. I'm glad I'm like nice enough where I hope people are not talking shit about me behind my back. And I don't think people are. I think everyone genuinely thinks I'm nice. Because I am. But yeah, crazy people do exist here and there. Yeah. This Chinese woman, they mentioned her name, but I already forgot. She sexually assaulted another Chinese girl, who already had a boyfriend at Frank's apartment. Crazy people are lurking everywhere in SCA. And I've come to a point where I finally got to come in contact with them, or like know of them a little bit, you know, because throughout the entire first semester I know nothing. I'm surface level. This is the real shit. This is what I've signed up for. So yeah, I'm tired, so tired. Also want to take a moment and mention how interesting Yao is, or like not interesting, but like, I don't know, before today my image of her is like, okay, obviously she's pretty. She's actually kind of gorgeous. In an elegant way. Like you see her in like a beautiful elegant dress kind of situation. But also she speaks and acts like she doesn't know much. Like she's like slow, like she speaks slow and she's always smiling. It's like she's a little awkward. It's like, I mean, she's like one of those girls where she's really pretty, but she doesn't really know much about what's going on. But I'm sure undoubtedly she's good at her job. But apparently she has like heart problems. Like her heart rate is abnormally fast, so much so that he's had heart attacks before and she's had heart surgery. And they added like a metallic pacemaker onto her heart. And every time she walks through the TSA, the metal detector beeps. And sometimes her heart rate goes so fast that she can see her heart actually moving, popping out of her chest, like Iron Man. She's also a really good dancer. She like auditioned for like JYP and YG Entertainment, like K-pop, and she made it to the finals, but she didn't make it because she couldn't sing, because she's tone deaf. And also she like had a lot more interactions with me today, like physically as well, like just tapping me on the shoulder, also jokingly hiding behind my back, stuff like that. Pretty intriguing. It's weird knowing that they know Leslie. Like Frank and Yao also follow Leslie on Instagram. I don't know how close they are. They probably only seen each other like once, but Leslie is another can of worms not to be opened at all costs. I'm happy nothing went further between me and Leslie, because like, if Leslie, I don't think Leslie hates me now. Like she's not actively out to get me, but if she is, she can say some pretty ridiculous things about me that may get me canceled. The same way Simon got canceled, sorta, even though he kind of deserves it. But you know, my 1 hour tear-filled confession, you know, Leslie could have said, oh, he sexually harassed me for an hour, or like harassed me for an hour. But I think I was nice enough for Leslie to not want to hurt me, which is great because I don't want to hurt her too. Oh my god, giant fly.